Hi, and welcome to Cinema Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today is the continuation of Sharkathon. So, Sharkathon is a countdown to Shark Week, and this is currently day 4, aka July 4th. So, today's film is Open Water 3, Cage Dive. Now, you may be thinking you watched Open Water 1 and 2, my breakdowns on those, and thinking, Caitlin, why did you bother to watch the third one? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. The third one is the far superior shark film. The third one actually is not that bad a movie, to be completely honest, especially even if we're just talking about B rates in general. Not that bad a movie. Alright, so as we get on into the third film, we are introduced to our three main characters, which it is two brothers and one of the brothers' girlfriends, aka a small little group of friends, and they have decided that they are going to make an audition tape to join some kind of extreme reality show. So, of course, they think the coolest, most extreme thing they could possibly do is go cage diving for a bunch of sharks. Yeah. So, of course, they can't just do this anywhere. They go to Australia for this. Now, in the film, they are thought to be your stereotypical California, whatever. And they're going to Australia to go cage diving. Alright, so that's going to play in a little bit more when I talk about this throughout. But we actually find out that Megan, the girlfriend of Jeff, the younger of the two brothers, is actually having an affair with Josh. So Josh is the older brother. And Jeff knows nothing about this. Also, Jeff has a bit of a heart problem, and he also may or may not take performance-enhancing drugs. That's also going to play in later on in the film. So, as we're starting out, we find out that there was a pretty bad accident where a boat actually capsized during a shark cage diving excursion, and a number of people were lost during that incident, either eaten by sharks or are still missing. We find out that these three friends in general are three of the missing individuals. Still haven't found them. And we also find out that we're now looking at found footage from their camera. The camera itself was destroyed, but the SD card was still attached. And this is what they found on this camera. Warning, what you may see may be a little disturbing to some viewers. Yeah, the whole thing happens, and we are thrown right into the world of Jeff, Josh, and Megan. And it's them, their whole trip, and these, they're pretty likable characters. And yeah, they're struggling through their own thing. Megan is very scared that her boyfriend's gonna find out that she had something going on with his brother, a relationship that it seems like she's trying to actively end. She's trying to make things work with Jeff, and Jeff's completely oblivious to all this. So, of course, they're having a great time. They're filming the boat. It's actually their turn to get into the cage, and they're all super excited. They're adrenaline junkies. They're ready to go. They're in the cage having the time of their lives, and something happens. Something happens, and their cage starts to move, and they don't understand why. And they're trying to get out of the cage, and that's when we find out that there's a rather large wave approaching the boat. The boat actually capsizes, and you see as these three characters are actively not only trying to get themselves out of the cage, get themselves to safety, but they're also genuinely concerned about the other two because, I mean, this is a realistic group of characters that love and care for each other. These are all close friends, all close relations. And the struggles that they deal with in trying to protect one another in the next several scenes, it's very realistic. The fighting that they go through, very realistic. And I gotta tell you, out of the series so far, this is the one group of characters that I actually cared about and didn't want to see die, to be completely honest. But once they emerge out on the water, we see a bunch of other survivors of this boat, and they're trying to ask them what happened. And that's when we just start seeing shark attacks. Shark attack after shark attack. There's a lot of carnage in this first scene, and it is very well shot. It's gory enough, but not like in your face, you know. Shark, blood, a little bit of screaming. And then we get to see as these characters, you know, our three main, they're struggling to try to survive, struggling to try to get whatever supplies they can that's drifting in the water. There's a pretty great scene with the cooler where one of them is going to swim out to the cooler, and of course Megan's terrified by this concept. They're supposed to stick together as a group. It's much safer to stick together as a group. However, this entire sequence, they're still filming it. This is still a found footage thing, so it's very much, it's them fighting over the camera, them wanting to turn off the camera. At one point, we actually see them get a life raft, a huge, like, tinted survival life raft, which is glorious. And the way they screw that up is kind of amazing, kind of horrifying at the same time. We learn a very important life lesson. Life rafts plus flares do not go together. Don't do it. But, so they're back in the water again, and that's when our boy Jeff finds out about the affair. And they're all tired, they're all exhausted, they've been through the ringer here for several hours now, and he begins to fight with the other two. He's fighting with his brother, he's refusing to hold on to Megan. She's crying, she's trying to explain herself, trying to get her boyfriend to understand. And that's when we see her get attacked by a shark. So throughout this entire time, they've stuck together as a unit, and this is the first time that they're torn apart. And the two brothers are fighting pretty hard to try to get Megan back, but ultimately the only thing they recover from her are her broken goggles. So Megan's gone. Now it's Jeff and Josh, the two brothers that have now quite literally been torn apart. So the next scene's pretty brutal. It's Jeff calling out his brother, telling him exactly what he thinks of him, and Josh not even being able to look him in the eye. And ultimately, throughout this whole exchange, Jeff gets so worked up that he goes into cardiac arrest. And there's nothing his brother can do to help him. And he dies. So now Josh is alone in the water. All he's got is one life vest, and there's actually a scene at the very end of this where you think he's going to be saved. We see a helicopter going up above. It almost seems as if they've spotted him and everything's going to work out just fine, you know, but he's very frantically trying to get the helicopter's attention. He's very excited at all of this. This is the first real exciting I might be saved moment in this. Well, a shark also notices him. And we get perhaps the best shark attack in Sharkathon so far from Josh. There's quite a bit of a fight going on. You see close-ups of the shark through the camera lens. You see teeth. You hear screams. You see the blood. This is a very realistic shark attack, but at the very end of this, you see the teeth attacking the camera lens. So, I gotta tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed Open Water 3. I almost didn't watch it because Open Water 2 was such a disappointment to me. But Open Water 3, like, honestly, skip the first two and watch the third one because it is spectacular. And I'm not, okay, before anyone comments in the comment section below, I am not saying this is a perfect film. This is very clearly a B-rate. So now I'm going to talk about some of the issues with this film. The issues of this film, pretty glaring issue, is you have non-American actors playing very stereotypical American roles. So their accents very off. The acting is a bit farcical at moments that it really shouldn't be. And it's quite a bit of overacting. Yes, there's moments when the wave is coming and you see the actor jump before you even see the wave coming. You know, it is very B-rate, it is cheesy at times, but I gotta tell you, there's so many things that I thoroughly enjoyed. The shark sequences were just enough. The attacks were just enough throughout. It wasn't too gory, it wasn't too in your face, but it alluded to enough, and it honestly made you care about these characters, where the other two films, yeah. I gotta tell you, if you're looking for a perfect film, this is not a perfect film. If you are looking for a film you can quite literally sink your teeth into and thoroughly enjoy, this might be the film for you. So that is it for this episode of Sharkathon here on Cinema Figures. Please do give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you have ever seen Open Water 3 and what you thought about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tell me more about it in the comment section below. Please do subscribe to Cinema Figures, because right now we are in the middle of Sharkathon. So 27 films in 27 days. This is day 4. And got all sorts of craziness every single day. So please do subscribe for that. Also, I'm your host Caitlin, and yeah, check out any of the older videos we have up for offer here on Cinema Figures. Like I said, we did do reviews of 3 other films for Sharkathon so far, so check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, until next time, I'm your host Caitlin. Bye.